Hey everyone, welcome to BUGSMASHERS. I got nothing witty. Like I said, I got nothing witty. You're gonna use that, aren't you?
Let's start.
BUGSMASHERS! Hey everyone, we have a fun little bug here. I have a test hornet which I use and abuse to put all sorts of items on. As you can see, I threw an airlock on the wing because why not? This is mostly so I could test the interaction system. And we got a bug in that when items get removed off ships, like this airlock, it has no physics. And as you can see here, this airlock is attached to my lovely Hornet and it has physics on the door. However, there's no physics anywhere on this airlock when it's plopped down. And same thing with pretty much any of these other items. If I go in here, there's physics for the seat, physics for the weapon, but not when it gets plopped down. So what happens? Well, let's snap into the code. So let me open up the fun. Open up the item. Where are you, item? Somewhere hiding. Visual assist is not. Ah, there you are. All right. So our legacy item, which is this guy, and our new items, they have a physics controller. Where are you? There you are. We have a physics controller, which is a separate component that handles the physics for this item. Both the legacy item, which is this guy right here, and our new items both go and use this guy. And we have a callback for physicalizing. We were just there. Let's go find you. We want the physicalization mode. Going through the fun mess. Aha, physicalize. Out and about. All right, so here's our fun physicalization function. So to get this item working with our physicalized component, we have to do basically a callback to do special methods. So when we physicalize, we'll tell our physics controller, this lovely guy, to basically physicalize our entity, and then it will do a callback to come back to the item because the item has to do some special love. And whenever we physicalize, we have to define a slot. Basically, we have an entity, and it could have multiple slots, and each slot could have a character, or it could have some geometry. We could have, a wallet geometry and a phone, and they both belong to this entity. And each one would be into a slot. You could have multiple slots for the entity active at one time, or you could have one at a time. For example, with the legacy items, if it's we could switch between an auxiliary or third person geometry. We mostly stick with third person, but auxiliaries for like attachments. You could do things like if you're in first person, you have switch to this geometry. If you're in first person, you switch to this geometry. But either way, we have to define a slot to physicalize. And the item and old items, they have one slot, which they physicalize on, but they also have another physicalization slot for the interaction system, which is these fun little proxies right there. And unfortunately, we have to physicalize a bunch of slots. So rather than sending in a specific number, we could send in a -1. If we go to the physics controller, this is what we use for the new items. And as you can see, if it's a rigid body, we pass in -1 saying physicalize every single slot that you have. And fortunately, our physics controller is the top level, and the physics proxy is our bottom level, and then we have super low physics. So our entity, physics controller, physics proxy, and physics. Our entity tells the physics controller, I want to physicalize. It does a callback, and then eventually goes to the physics proxy to set up a whole bunch of crazy parameters, and then finally gets to physics, and our guy has physics. It's cray. And basically, our item gets here, goes to the physics controller. We say slot -1. It gets to the physics proxy, and we land here. When we have -1, we have to go through all the physics slots and add it to physics and say, hey, make this thing have physics. But unfortunately, in this param, when we pass in slot -1, we also pass in this param in here. And when we add the slot geometry, it gets the param, if it's a character or physics, it checks to see if the slot's -1. But we set a -1 because we want everything to go. So we have to do a little trick where we say when equal to the current slot, and then we'll reset it. So since everything unfortunately uses the params, we'll just say, hey, we'll assign the correct slot so everything below the physics proxy gets passed in correctly. And then when we go to the next slot, we do the same thing over and over and over again. And we build this guy. So now, my super duper wallet and my super duper phone should both have physics instead of going, oh my gosh, we're slot -1, abort. Woo! Because this guy doesn't want to do physics. All right, as this compiles, we are going to see the awesome result. Best LOD. All right, we're back into the editor. Let's draw our physics. Haha! We now have physics when we plop down this door. So if I were to hop in the game, whee, my ship goes crazy, but since I have physics, I can now open it. Well, I can at least shoot it. I guess the animation's broke. Oh, fun. Whee! I had to open up that door. Oh, that's great. Haha! Oh, that's another bug for another time. As you saw, we had a fun little physics issue where if we had an item and we attached it to, yes, this is a ship, let's pretend it's my airlock, attached to a ship, it has physics. Awesome. But as soon as we detach it, we don't have physics anymore. The problem was with the good old low-level component, when we try to physicalize, all the slots, we send a -1, but it was aborting out because -1's invalid, so we just had to make sure that when it got through each slot, we set the appropriate value for the slot, everything physicalized, and now our apple is a real boy. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Cheers.